Fucking Blumhouse, man.
Taking drugs, I'm in the
You scared me.
Happy Death Day is a film directed by Chris Landon. It stars Jessica Rothe and Israel Broussard, and it tells the story of Tree, who is a sorority girl who is being murdered repeatedly on her birthday, and every time she dies, she respawns at the beginning of the day and relives the same day over and over and over again. It's like Groundhog Day. And it's up to her to figure out who her killer is and stop it before, you know, she permanently dies, because every time she dies, her body starts failing more and more and more with each respawn. You know, it's a film by Blumhouse. It's PG-13. It looks to be very teeny bopper and silly and not all that good from the trailers. So you can imagine my surprise when I fucking loved this movie. Oh my god, guys, this is the biggest shock to me, because I was not expecting this movie to be very good. I was expecting it to be, you know, like, I figured it could go either way, but I did not expect to come out fucking adoring it. This is a shock to me, and this completely just shot onto one of my favorites of the year. This is a fucking blast, beginning to end. I was so surprised, and I am so happy to say that I think this movie is a complete joy through and through. I'm at a loss for words. I did not expect to be here gushing about Happy Death Day, but here I am. This being my first time seeing Jessica Rothe act in something, I want to see her act in everything now. Not only was she so charming and so likable and such a great fucking character. Tree is one of my favorite horror protagonists ever now. This is not even a question in my mind. She's so well written. She's so three-dimensional. And the survival instinct on this girl is fucking awesome. And oh my god, what is there to say, man? I don't even know. Happy Death Day isn't really a slasher film. It's really overall more of a horror comedy than anything. This movie is very funny, and a lot of the, you know, a lot of the deaths and all that shit do get played for laughs, especially when you get to the whole montaging section that you get to in every Groundhog Day-esque story. Once you get to the point of the montage of her dying over and over, it's hilarious. It is genuinely funny, and I found myself laughing like out loud. I was really surprised at how charming this movie was, and again, I believe a lot of that is lent to by Jessica Roth's amazing performance. I expected from the trailers that it was going to be a self-aware film. I was not surprised that I was right, but I was not expecting it to take it a step further and become very funny and very clever and do a lot that was very unique and very original and very heartfelt. What surprised me most about this movie is the real emotional weight to it. There is actually a lot of really, like, deep, heartfelt moments in this film that I was not expecting to be hit with, and I was really, really surprised that they went there. Like I said, this isn't a slasher film, really. It is definitely a love letter to slasher films, though. It makes me so happy to know that in 2017 we're still getting a film that, while not necessarily a slasher, pays homage to and shows a deep love for the subgenre of slasher films, because that is one of my favorite horror subgenres. And seeing a film like this in 2017 that's fairly original despite all the cliches and despite the fact that this is a type of story that's been told a million times, to see it do something that I did not expect and to see it go a route that I really was not anticipating at all, I'm thrilled. I really am thrilled. Before I get to Tree as a character, I'm going to talk about Israel Broussard, who plays Carter, who is the boy whose dorm she keeps waking up in over and over and over. I didn't really know anything of the character. I wasn't expecting anything as character from the trailers. I just figured he'd be, you know, typical love interest boy who is, you know, he's shy and awkward, but she falls for him. And in a way he kind of is, but this dude is so charming and so likable that the trope of that didn't even bother me. This is just the best thing this film has going for it are its characters. It is, yeah, the characters are all stereotypes and cliched, but it's what they do with them, it's the directions they take them in that are really unexpected and really cool, and I'm so happy to see that even with characters who are stereotypes, you can do something interesting with them. And it made me really happy that this film really did something interesting, especially with, now I'm going to talk about Tree. Tree is such a great character, and such a well-written character, and so well-rounded, and so fleshed out, and so three-dimensional, and I was in love with Jessica Roth's performance. She's very charming, she's incredibly likable, and the character starts off very, you know, she's all stuck up and bitchy, and not a really great person, but when the film explores that later on and goes into why she's like that, I was really surprised at how moving it was. And this, oh my god, she's such a great character. There's so many layers to her, and there's so much likability to her. And with every death, she gets more and more and more likable, to the point where by death 2, she's already in survival mode, and she's really... It's so refreshing to see a character who is not only pretty capable fighting-wise, but is thinking on their feet constantly and is constantly coming up with new ways to try and outwit the killer. I adored that, and I think that this movie was just an absolute blast, mainly because of the character of Tree and how completely lovable she is. And watching her grow throughout the film is just a really nice experience for any viewer. The film overall is, yes, it is very cliche-ridden. It is very dependent on tropes, but it is the fact that this film is very self-aware and knows that it is playing to these tropes and is having fun with itself, that's why I enjoyed it so much. Because this is not a film that takes itself very seriously in the slightest, and I was hoping that it wouldn't be, but I had no idea that it would have this much fun. It plays to a lot of, you know, typical slasher tropes, and while I was a little disappointed with the killer overall, mainly because I predicted it very early on, it kind of hit me after the fact that the whodunit aspect of the film is not the point of the film. The point of the film is overall Tree's journey as a character, and because of that, the overall letdown and anticlimax, I guess, of who the killer is didn't bother me so much, because that's not what this film is about. This is not a whodunit. This is not a murder mystery. It is a journey for a character to grow and become a better person, and I think that that is beautiful, and I think that for a film called Happy Death Day, with so much potential to just be a shitty lowest common denominator horror movie, I was really, really surprised that it was a really emotionally powerful, heartwarming film about becoming a better human being. I loved that. I think this movie is great. And I cannot believe I'm saying this, but I'm going to say that Happy Death Day is a fucking must-see. I am blown away. I cannot believe I'm saying that, but here I am. Just go see it on a matinee or something when there aren't going to be a million screaming children there, because I wanted to punch some people in the face in this movie theater. For people who are hoping for something a bit more serious, this probably isn't for you, but if you want a fun, campy horror movie that does not take itself too seriously and is a lot heavier on the comedy, this is the movie for you. I would definitely say to check it out. It's truly fun. I was grinning for most of the film, and I'm really shocked that. Go see it, guys. It's really, really good. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and you can, you know, if you like me and the others who, I promise they'll be back soon, you can click down there and like and comment and subscribe, and yeah, I will see you soon.
Oh.